of the internet mortgage lender. You see their ads on the Super Bowl, across your social medias, they're advertising all over the internet, and many people are going to them because they see their names the most over their traditional local mortgage lenders, and they feel like they can trust them. Well, I wanted to talk today about the most common bait and switch. I won't really say a scam, but it's almost like a bait and switch that we're seeing with some of our clients who are going with these big internet lenders. And I know you guys hear it all the time. Get pre-approved before you go to look for a house. But most of the times they're not telling you who to go to. So today I want to talk about the best steps and what to avoid, mainly, especially with those internet lenders and the big banks, and how to stick local and find a local lender to make sure you're put in the best position to look for a house and get pre-approved to buy something and be successful. So I want to tell a story that unfortunately has happened many times with a lot of these internet lenders or big banks, and it's tough because a lot of newer clients, if they come to me, maybe they aren't too sure if I'm telling them the truth, or maybe they just see these big names and they trust them. It's the same thing for me. I'll see a bank and maybe I want to bank with them because I see them all the time, or maybe I'll see an attorney's ads and I'll be like, oh, that's the first attorney that comes to my head, so I reach out to them whenever something pops up. It's familiarity. So whenever you see something a bunch, you're going to feel more comfortable with them and feel like you can trust them because they're pumping their business and their company right in front of you all the time. So I'm not going to mention any names of mortgage lenders, but you see them everywhere. If you think of the mortgage lenders you see the most on TV, on YouTube, on social media, on ads and billboards, you know most likely who I'm talking about, and it's a number of them between banks and mortgage companies. So the telltale story that I tell all of my clients whenever we first connect, and maybe they mention they're looking to get approved or they already are approved and it's with certain lenders, I tell them the story about the cost sheet. So the cost sheet is something that you are going to get from your lender if they are a good lender and they're going to be honest with you. You're going to get a cost sheet breakdown of what your charges are. So you have your down payment whenever you're purchasing a home, and you also have your closing costs. So let's say you're getting an FHA loan, 3.5% down. That's going to be your down payment. And then in my local market, it's going to be different everywhere. Like I've bought an out-of-state property and it was completely different. In my local market, you're typically going to have 5 to 7% in closing costs. So you're going to be anywhere from 8.5 to 10.5% that you're putting down on a 3.5% down payment home, because you're looping your down payment and your closing costs all together. So what we see a lot of the time with these lenders is they're not going to send you a cost sheet. So you go onto their website, you do a quick form that they kind of collect all of the information, high funnel, where they're going to get as many people to sign up as possible from an ad or from their website or wherever you find them, and you're going to submit your basic information. Most of the times it's going to be your name, number, email address, and maybe some financial information in the beginning just to kind of get all of your information together so they can start calling you, start emailing you, add you to their email list. They can retarget you on social media so you see them more and more. They typically start that, and then once you finally get to the point where you book a call with them or you fill out an application, they're going to send you a pre-approval a lot of the time, and they are not going to send you that cost sheet. A good lender is going to send you that cost sheet on even just a typical home. If you say I'm looking at $300,000, $150,000, whatever that is, they're going to send you a cost sheet with the average cost so you know what their fees are, you know what your down payment is, you know what your interest rate is, so you get all of that beforehand before you actually start going out to look at houses. So you're going to get that, and then you're going to know what you can afford and what you actually need to put down. A lot of these lenders are not sending that cost sheet, so you have absolutely no clue what your closing costs are going to be. They might sell you a pipe dream. They might tell you it's only your down payment, you're good to go, and we'll get you all set up so that you're good and you don't have to worry about everything else, just to get you to the next step of getting an offer accepted with their approval so they can finally send you the cost sheet. Another thing they're going to do in the initial stages, they're not going to send you interest rates. They're going to tell you, oh, we can't tell you an interest rate until you go under contract because we don't know what the house is going to be. We don't know what the timeline's going to be. We're not sure what you're going to be able to get approved for until we get that contract. No, that's not true. They have access to the interest rates, and they can tell you what the current Fed's rates are that they have to give you for it to make sense for their business to make money, because they're in it to make money. I am a realtor to make money. You go to a job to make money. They're in it to make money. So they are going to wait to tell you the interest rate so that you just kind of get it through and you make sure everything goes through them. Then they can release the interest rate for you. And at that point, you feel locked into them. They already put so much work in. You think, I might as well just go through with them no matter what the rate is. And you might think, I wouldn't do that. But after you submit all your paperwork and you talk to the person and you build a relationship with them, typically people are looking to stick with them. Another thing they're going to do is they're going to take that initial rate they give you, if they do give you a rate up front, because sometimes they do, and it's not going to be the rate that you're expecting. It's going to be, let's say rates are 6.5. They're going to say, congratulations, Collin, you got a 5.5% interest rate, much lower than the 6.5% rate. And you don't question it. You say, I'm going to take that 5.5 and run. I'm going to get this and use this on the home, and I'm paying way less than if I was working with a local lender. What they don't tell you is they are charging you discount points. So you're basically paying an absurd amount of money to get a discount point down. You're paying 1% to get it down, not a full percent of the loan, but just a little bit, or a full percent of the interest rate, but just a little bit. So you might pay a point and it might knock off 0.25%. So you're paying 4% to get that down a whole percent, and they're not disclosing that to you. So they do these and they don't send you the cost sheet, so you have no clue. I'm going to give a story about one of my clients who was closing on a home locally here in New York, and we went through, it didn't work out with my preferred mortgage lender, so they went to Rocket and Rocket approved them, and they were able to get the interest rate and stuff like that, and they did actually give an initial cost sheet, and it seemed like the lender was on top of it. They were good to go. We went through everything. Appraisal happened for FHA. We were good to go on value. No repairs needed. We made it through inspections. We were all set. They get a call that they're going to be in need about $4,000 to $5,000 more. This was about 2 weeks before closing. We're actually closing this week. And they got a call that it's going to be $4,000 to $5,000 more. And nobody expects that. If you're in a tight spot, or even if you're not in a tight spot, $4,000 to $5,000 is a huge hit. No matter who you are, that is a huge chunk of money to put down that you were just not aware of. And they were trying to get them to, bump up the price. You can just get the closing costs in. Or maybe you can just pay a little bit more on the interest rate and we can give you a little bit of a lender credit. And that is how they get you. I had another client that we aren't under contract yet, but we're actively looking. I got him connected with my preferred lender because he was with Rocket and he wasn't super interested in, selling a current home that he had. And basically what happened was they told him he didn't have to sell his home because other lenders were telling them he did, and he didn't want to. He wanted to rent it out. So I told him, hey, most likely you're going to have to sell it or rent it out, and they didn't run everything completely. So we got him connected with my lender, and it ended up that he did have to sell his home before he was able to buy, or he would have to rent it out to write off some of that debt to income. So he would have gone under contract with that company, and then basically the deal would not have gone through unless he was able to rent his home out or sell it at the last minute. And that's what happens a lot of times. They get you down to the wire where you are ready to close on your home, and basically you get screwed over because they don't tell you this up front because you're so far along and you're committed to working with them that you feel it doesn't make sense to change. So be very, very careful. I beg, be very, very careful when you're working with these internet lenders or these big banks, because they do things that aren't right and should be illegal. But unfortunately, there's things that happen that it makes it not illegal. It's just wrong ethically. Stick local. And if you are having trouble finding a local lender, reach out to a real estate agent. And if you don't have a real estate agent, go to Collinboyer.net and book a call with us. We'll help you anywhere in the country or honestly the world. And if we don't service your area, we will make sure you get connected with somebody that can help you. talk to a local realtor and let them introduce you to their preferred lender, because they're typically really, really good. And there's a reason that agent and that lender work together all the time, because they've had success and they know they can deal honestly, and they know they will 100% get you to the closing table if you can get an approval. Let's say that lender can't get you an approval locally and a big box internet lender or somebody else can. Most likely you're not actually approved. I've seen that a bunch too, where locally we can't get approved because debt to incomes are off or our credit scores aren't quite there. And the buyer client goes to another lender, typically these big internet lenders, and they say, congratulations, you're approved. We get 2 weeks under contract and you're not actually approved because they didn't actually run anything. They told you they did, but they aren't able to get you through underwriting. So be very, very careful. I like to share these stories because rather than me just saying, oh, this company's bad, that company's bad, stay local, I like to share experiences, and these are 2 of hundreds of experiences that we've had with these big lenders. So be very careful. I don't want to just yell out names of companies and stuff like that, because some of them are good. I've had good experiences with all of them, but a lot of bad as well. So stick local, reach out to an agent to get your lender that would really be able to help you locally. And again, if you need help, go to Collinboyer.net, not .com, Collinboyer.net. Learn a little bit about me and my team, and we can help you anywhere in the world. Just reach out to us, submit a form on my website, and we can get connected, whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or maybe even just curious about the market. And if you're an agent who's struggling or new to the industry or just looking for a change or maybe some tips on how we can help, no matter if you're joining our team or brokerage or not, we are happy to help you because we know you have clients in your area that maybe are moving here. So we love to help. Go to Collinboyer.net and submit a form to talk with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and all the other social medias, and I'll see you on the next one.